Welcome back, Trading Psychology Part 2 for the Circle of Nine community. Before we begin with this lecture and presentation, let's review what we talked about in the previous Trading Psychology Part 1. We talked about the attraction, what attracts you to trading, what is your goal. We talked about the dangers, and you have to be okay with that. Then we talked about rules, creating rules for yourself to minimize stress and create more discipline. We talked about responsibility, how you are the only one that's responsible for your trades and pressing the buttons. Then we talked about the power of association and comparison. You should only be comparing yourself with who you were as a trader the day before. No one else. Don't pay attention to trading gurus and don't compare yourself to them. And then we talked about uncertainty, being okay with not knowing what's going to happen to 100% degree. Now, in this lecture, we're going to be talking about a few new aspects of trading psychology. The first one is going to be managing your expectations. Now, if you were to notice a difference here, if you were to expect that every day you'd go into work and every day you were to receive a promotion or a raise, obviously that's not very practical and it's not going to happen every day. It might happen, and it is likely if you're putting in the effort, in the hard work, and you might get a raise or a promotion. So it's not impossible. But to expect that that might occur every day is unrealistic. And the same goes for trading. You can have a high level of confidence, and there's a difference between confidence and euphoria. We'll get to that in the next slide, but if you were to expect that every day is going to be an insane return day where you make well above your goal for the day, let's say your goal's $100, and you expect every day to surpass that and make $1,000 every day, even though you don't have the proper capital to do so. It's not really realistic, right? Doesn't make any sense to have that expectation. So why should you have that expectation? You shouldn't. Because when you have that expectation and it doesn't occur, and let's say you don't even make it to your $100 goal, but you had the expectation of making it to 1,000 on a day, and you don't even make it to your $100 goal, and instead you're down $60, $70 on the day on the account. Because you had that expectation going into the day, you're now going to feel 10 times worse. And that creates emotional risk for yourself. And it creates a toll on yourself. And then you start snowballing that and thinking about the past. How many times has this happened? When is this ever going to change? When all it takes is discipline and risk management, as we talked about in the previous lecture for psychology. But if you were to not have that expectation, let's say you go into the trading day with an expectation that I'd like to meet my $100 goal. I'd like to be profitable, but it doesn't have to happen. And I'm going to adhere to my rules, look for A plus setups, and I'll take those. And if it still doesn't happen, hey, it is what it is. But I'm managing my expectation. Now, a lot of us, even though, let's say, most people, when they begin trading, they're not even profitable in the beginning. It takes time to be profitable. There's a lot of aspects to learn to it. It's not just the golden technique of an EMA cross or even time and price. You need psychology and risk management, and that takes time and discipline. But a lot of us in the beginning start talking about trading with our friends and family. And I'm just going to cut to the chase. It's very rare, extremely, coming from personal experience, because I did the same. And I was in, like, say, 5, 6 years ago when I was first starting out. I did the same thing. I would tell friends and family about it, and what did that do to me? It created an emotional toll on myself because I was at that time still learning and still trying my best. And I regret telling them in the beginning. Couple reasons. Number one, most people don't care. I'm telling you with 100% certainty, most people do not care about your trading life, nor are they interested in Bissy's Sibby's. A little joke there, but they're not interested in Sibby talk, Bissy talk, okay? Just know that. And number two, if you were to talk about that with them, let's say they do care, those people, obviously, you're going to have to cherish them because those people really care about you, but they're going to be asking you, hey, how is your trading going? How has that been? And let's say you have not had the best week, month, or you're still not even profitable and you're just having a bad start to the year. It's going to create a higher toll on yourself for your emotional side because you have two choices at that point. You could be transparent and let them know, hey, I'm still learning, which I recommend if you are already telling your friends and family and they ask you about it, just be transparent with them because if you're creating expectations that you are some profitable trader, even when you're not, with your friends and family, and you're trying to keep up this false um, portrayal of yourself, it's going to create a heavier toll on yourself. So just be transparent if you already have been speaking about it. If you haven't, I recommend not doing so and just going into this new world that you're trying to learn and pursue by yourself. It's a lonely world, trust me. That's a little nugget here that I'm including those that watched all the videos. That's why I created this community because I started feeling really alone. When you trade, like even you have friends and family outside of trading, but like you don't have any coworkers essentially. You're just trading on the screen. So it's nice to talk to people in a community, even online, right? But if you're managing expectations, you need to create the probability for yourself that it's going to be okay with whatever occurs throughout the day, right? And that brings us to the next topic of probability. Anything in the market can occur. You can have an A plus setup with your edge being there. Let's say you're trading time and price. You have a beautiful SMT. You have a beautiful inversion. You have a lower high that was taken out. And then you're entering a low risk entry. But that is just an edge. It is not a 100% probability that it will occur, that your trade will go in your favor. And anything can still happen. Anything can occur. And you have to be okay with that. What helps with that is you're managing risk. So think about two scenarios here. Picture it in your mind. Which one are you going to feel a heavier toll on when it comes to your emotional side, an aspect of it? Number one, you're trading micros on a 50K account and you enter one or two contracts on a possible long and you're looking for some buy side liquidity to be taken out. So you're managing risk properly and you looked for an A plus setup and you're good to go. But anything could still happen. So, hey, it could still stop you out. But you know you're only risking $60 on the account. You got a lot of leg room left if you're wrong, right? Or number two, you're on that same 50K account, but now you're not trading micro contracts, you're trading mini contracts. And you're not just trading one, you're trading five. So the position's going down 500, up 100, down 700, up 200 as the price is fluctuating. Which one do you think is going to have less stress and less emotional toll on yourself? Obviously the first one, right? Because you're managing risk, you have rules, and you're giving the A plus setup a shot. I know it's not going to bring you to Lamborghinis and mansions within a couple of weeks or a month. And that's just how trading works. You need long-term growth, stability. Because let's say you somehow make those 5 contracts on the minis work. You feel euphoric. There's a difference. You're not feeling confident. You're feeling euphoric. Why? Were you super confident when you entered the trade and you felt your heart beating, thinking it was going to go against you any moment, but instead it did go in your favor? Is that confidence? No, because you were afraid it was going to take you out and you could have wrecked your account and lost your ass. It's euphoria. You're gambling, you're not properly risking, and you're not creating a rule set, right? So when that happens, it creates a difference between low stress environments, managing risk properly, having your edge, and you're giving it a shot. What is an edge? It doesn't matter the technique that you use for charting. Mine is time and price, but an edge is just based off data, a setup that creates higher probability. Does that mean, again, that it's going to happen 100%? No, but it creates higher probability, a scenario of high probability that it could occur. So you have a higher chance of it occurring and going in your favor. You don't always have to be right. That brings me to the third point. You could be wrong several times, but you're managing risk properly. It's okay. And then the time the trade does go in your favor, maximize that. You could even pyramid in if you understand price and know where to pyramid in. Add more contracts safely with proper risk management and maximize that trade that's going in your favor. At that point, you create a carefree attitude because you're confident, but you're not euphoric. Okay? When you're in a carefree state of mind, you won't feel any fear, hesitation, or compulsion to do anything. Because you're eliminating the potential to define and interpret the market information on the chart as threatening. Let that sink in. When you're carefree, and you guys see this during the live streams, I'm carefree even when I lose. Because I don't feel any fear anymore or hesitation to enter trades, or I don't feel a compulsion to chase in most occasions. Because I'm eliminating the potential to define the market as threatening to myself. In my mind, the market is not threatening. It is an opportunity. I've accepted the risk. I've accepted any outcome that may come my way, and I'm at peace with any outcome. So the market, in truth, cannot do anything to me because, number one, I'm managing risk. Number two, I'm disciplined to follow my rules. And number three, I have an edge that creates high probability. That's all I need. So I am carefree and I'm not afraid of the market because of that. When you don't have those three, that's when you begin to feel your heartbeat race. That's when you begin to feel fear, uncertainty, and doubt within yourself. Now, another aspect of psychology is your actual physical self. So, 2 scenarios. How would you feel if you woke up without much sleep, 3 hours of sleep? You didn't eat much. You're surviving on a whole pint of coffee. Unrealistic, I know, but you're surviving, let's say, on 3 cups of coffee or a Red Bull. So your health is not in the best position. Your sleep count is not in the best position. And let's say you had a poor diet. Yesterday, you did not eat a proper meal, and instead you ate hot Cheeto Puffs, or you had a couple beers, and you're expecting to go into the next trading day in the morning feeling like you're ready for it. It's unrealistic. We all understand how certain diets affect our mind. So I'm sure most of you know the difference between when you get proper amount of sleep, you drink plenty of water, you have a nice breakfast, and you feel nice, well, and rested. When compared to lack of sleep, poor diet, and no water or hydration, you're going to go into the trading day fighting against your physical and mental self. You're not going to feel the very best, so don't expect the best. In order to be the best trader you can be, you have to feel physically healthy and rested and ready to rumble and ready to go. And we talked about this, but the carefree attitude is extremely important. Once you master all these concepts, time, price, and psychology, you're going to feel extremely confident and not euphoric. You're going to be available to new perspectives in the market. What do I mean by that? The new perspective is going to be objectivity. You have a state of mind where you have a conscious access to everything you have learned about market movement, time and price. In other words, nothing's going to be blocked or altered by your pain avoidance mechanisms in your mind. So you're not going to be trigger happy. What do I mean by all this? Just to rephrase everything. You're going to have access to, once you're in a clear state of mind, you're carefree, and you have your rules, and you're managing risk, and you understand how your psychology works, and you're disciplined enough to follow your rules, you're going to have access to everything you learned because you're going to feel stress-free and carefree. When you're stressed out, you tend to forget a lot of things. You're going to forget what the heck is an order block. Where is 50% of the range? What is the range? Etc., etc. What's Model 1001? Etc. But when you have all these things, the discipline, the psychology, carefree attitude, anything can happen in the market, right? Carefree. You're going to remember all these things because you're not going to be stressed out. You're going to be calm, cool, collected, and you're going to know, oh yeah, that's an order block right there. Okay, let's see the reaction. What's going to happen here? It's when you're stressed out and you don't have the right mindset that you start forgetting things and you start seeing the larger picture. And when you are available for a new perspective, it just means you have nothing to prove. You aren't trying to win or to avoid losing. You're not trying to get your money back. You're not trying to revenge trade. You're just remaining objective like a robot and looking for A plus setups. Observe yourself, okay? How do you, I know journaling, I keep mentioning it, I know it's probably difficult for most because it's a busy day, etc., but it's very important to journal your trades, but also how you feel. Observe yourself in a third person perspective. You're sitting at your desk, you're watching yourself place these trades, and when you do that, you start to see things. You start to see if you lack discipline, if you're going against your rules, if you're avoiding risk management, and you're going to begin to notice those things. And when you do that and you observe yourself, it's going to become a lot easier to improve yourself. Once you start to notice, man, what the heck? The past 4 days, I've been not adhering to my rules. And instead of 3 trades maximum per the day, I'm doing 6 or 7. What the heck is wrong with me? I need to fix this. When you observe yourself, you're going to notice all those things. Every single one of them. And it's going to help you improve massively. And let's say you're observing yourself. And then you begin to notice that you're not even paying attention to your own trading edge. Let's say there's an SMT. It's a bullish SMT. You see the inversion take place, the right setup, A plus setup. You know it's model 11 territory or something, right? Or you're trading Aries or Ash Wednesday, and you see the setup, but then you start going online or you start talking to others and you hear and listen and they tell you, oh, I'm looking for more downside, etc., etc. Then you start to question yourself, you start to question the setup, and before you know it, it leaves without you. And it does go to buy side because it was bullish. What happened there? You were not paying attention to your trading edge. And instead, you were paying attention to what others were saying. Your trading edge said, hey, it's a high probable trade, low risk for buy side. But because you were paying attention to what others said, you were fearful, you were doubtful of the setup, even though it was right in your face. Have confidence in your edge and the setups that you recognize. Again, you may not be right. Anything could still occur. Maybe the other people will be right. But you have to take that noise out. How do you do that? By telling yourself, no, 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 no. I see this setup. I've done it countless of times. It's my edge. And you know what? I'm going to take it. Do it. That's all it takes. We touched on the last few subjects that I want to talk about. And in general, I just want to conclude this lecture by saying, I think you're all very capable of being extremely profitable traders. Once you get over the hurdle, and I cannot stress this enough, of risk management and discipline, just watch the profits roll in. And at that point, you will have a carefree state of mind. Once you get there, let me know. Because when you get there, it's going to feel amazing. Trust me. God bless, and I hope you took notes.